Good evening and thank you for joining us here for KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where we give you more news in less time. I'm Whitney Ward in for Mark tonight. Our top story at this hour, the inland Northwest bracing for snow, followed by sub-zero temperatures. Let's get right to our chief meteorologist, Jeremy Legoo, as winter weather advisories are now in effect for the area. Hi, Jeremy.
And Whitney, the snow is coming down. I hope you enjoyed a little bit of it, but we get more as we head into the next few hours. Right now, snow coming down. You can see it coating Riverfront Drive. Actually, that's not Riverfront. That's Front Street, I believe. Is it? I am so lost right now. How do I not know what this is? I've said that street name 1,000 times. I apologize, everyone. Let the emails come. I deserve them right now. 15 degrees and snow coming down all across the inland Northwest. Temps pretty mild considering this is pretty close to where we were earlier today. We're not getting that big drop off because of some of this snow. So I think temperatures stay pretty close to where they are. Omak 16 below for the feels like Moses Lake 3 below. You still have those wind chill advisories in effect for that cold. But in addition to it, winter storm warnings, winter weather advisories, those continue through Wednesday morning for the incoming snow. Snow already coming down north side of town or just north of town, tons of it. Over Snoqualmie, tons of it as well. And look, really, if you're north of I-90, you're seeing quite a bit more snow than the south side of town. We're still seeing a bit of it on the south side. It is really expected to take over tonight and last through tomorrow. It is likely we wake up to at least an inch on the ground for the morning commute. That's not good. We continue to see the snow throughout much of the day. It eventually tapers off tomorrow evening, but it looks like temperatures could warm up enough that could be a wintry mix for some. A few inches all said and done. Spokane 2 to 4-ish, Coeur d'Alene 3 to 5, Kellogg 5 to 8, up to a foot at those mountain summits.
Yes, you talked about those mountain passes. Let's take a look at those right now. Chains are required this moment on Snoqualmie Pass on all vehicles except those that have all-wheel drive. Oversized vehicles are prohibited. By the way, Snoqualmie, as Jeremy just said, 1 to 2 feet of snow tomorrow with possible whiteout conditions between the hours of 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. And if we take a look on Stevens Pass, chains are required on all vehicles there as well. And there is also compact snow and ice on the roadway. As we take a look on the other side of the state line in Idaho along I-90 right now, watch out for those icy patches, light snow and slushy conditions between Coeur d'Alene and Lookout Pass. But as that snow continues to move in tonight and tomorrow, travel could get very difficult over 4th of July and Lookout Passes, so do be careful. And the snow is also going to take a toll on air travel. This is a live look at SeaTac Airport right now on the west side. And this is going to be a very busy week as people are headed out of town for the holiday weekend, or maybe you have visitors flying in. The majority of the snow is expected to arrive tomorrow. The busiest days at the airport will be Thursday and Friday. And a quick reminder about SeaTac's Spot Saver program. That's what allows you to schedule TSA screenings in advance and then jump to the front of the line. During holiday travel season, those reservations can be made from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. at checkpoints 2, 3, and 5. You can book those online at the Port of Seattle website. Tonight, a Spokane man is out of the hospital after police say he was attacked in his basement by a homeless man he was giving food and shelter to. KREM 2's Kyle Simchuk spoke to the victim's daughter, who says this violent attack has now left her family shocked and angry.
Well, Bob Peeler has spent most of his life helping others. He now has staples in his head, but is recovering. Today, police arrested the man he was helping. We want to warn viewers, some of these photos are hard to look at.
I couldn't believe that he would do that to him. I just couldn't believe that he would do that to my papa.
Ask anyone who knows Bob Peeler and they'll tell you he has a big heart and a soft spot for people in need.
It's just in his character to help somebody.
His daughter Heather Clark says Peeler spent 42 years at SNAP helping the homeless.
Thousands of people are in homes and thousands of people are living better lives because of him. For something like this to happen at the hands of one of the people that he was helping for the last 6 years it was really shocking.
Peeler and his wife had been helping a man named Chad Counts.
It started off with giving him meals at Christmas and Thanksgiving. We would give him meals at our family dinners, and this year they let him get warm in their basement, which is where it happened.
On Friday night, Counts was making a lot of noise downstairs, and Heather says her father told him to quiet down.
Chad had turned the lights out or unscrewed a light bulb to where it was dark. My dad couldn't see anything, and he just got hit in the head and knocked out for a minute, and then apparently had to have been hit again, and You know, he ended up with a skull fracture. He ended up with some bleeding on his brain.
Counts ran away and Peeler was rushed to Sacred Heart, where he spent a night in the ICU. He was finally released this morning. Around the same time, police arrested Counts, who walked into a Spokane Valley food bank Peeler's other daughter works at.
My papa wants him to get the help that he needs. Those were his exact words. Well, now he can get the help that he needs. He does not represent the homeless community of Spokane. I don't want people to see this and, you know, think that he's a representation of the homeless of Spokane. Not everybody is violent. Not everybody, you know, is going to harm you.
Chad Counts is currently behind bars charged with first-degree assault. Peeler has taken in his dog, Lily. In the studio, Kyle Simchuk, KREM 2 News.
Also tonight, Spokane City and county leaders say their plans to clear the homeless camp at I-90 in Freya are now on hold, but so are their efforts to help people living there. A federal restraining order is in place right now to prevent law enforcement from entering the camp without probable cause. Today, Spokane police shared concerns about crime in the surrounding East Central neighborhood. Police say things like theft, car prowling, and drug dealing are all up nearly 80% from last year overall. After months of hearing the outgoing sheriff, Ozzie Knezovich, saying that law enforcement would come in to clear that camp, the new sheriff-elect John Knowles advocated for a different approach today.
The best way to address that camp is through non-law enforcement means of moving that camp somewhere safe and somewhere where it does not negatively impact that community.
Earlier this month, officers handed out notices at the camp warning people that it would be closing soon. Today, Knowles said the reports claiming those officers were harassing and intimidating people living there are simply not true. Meanwhile, Julie Garcia with Jules Helping Hands told KREM 2 the interactions created fear and disruption at the camp. All right, now to Nightbeat with a quick look at the day's other top stories. Governor Jay Inslee and State Attorney General Bob Ferguson laid out their latest plan aimed at combating gun violence. They're proposing what they are calling 2 common-sense public safety measures for the upcoming legislative session in Olympia. One renews calls for a ban on the sale of military-style assault weapons. The second is a new proposal to ensure gun manufacturers and dealers take steps to keep their products from landing in the wrong hands. An Idaho couple had to be rescued by snowplows after a snowshoeing trip left them stranded. They had a 2-night expedition that ended in panic after an avalanche buried their car and Highway 21 in snow. They were actually able to dig their car out, but the road had then become not passable. It was a virtual snowbank. Fortunately, a satellite text sent to their son meant that he was able to sound the alarm, and within about an hour, a snowplow made it to their location and drove them to safety. All right, turning to Northwest headlines now. North Idaho College president Nick Swain is now suing the school. This is after trustees placed him on administrative leave. Court records show that Swain was put on leave while the board looks into a change in his contract. It does not stem from any disciplinary issues. The suit argues the Board of Trustees didn't have the authority to place him on leave. Swain is also asking to be reinstated immediately. And that was your Night Beat. If you'd like to learn more about any of those stories, just text the word NIGHT to 509-448-2000. We'll send them right to your phone.
No man who would behave that way at that moment in time can ever serve in any position of authority in our nation again. He is unfit for any office.
Representative Liz Cheney and the House Select Committee investigating the January 6th Capitol riots voting to recommend the Justice Department file criminal charges against former President Donald Trump for his role in the attack on the Capitol building. The committee is also recommending criminal referrals for Trump's attorney, John Eastman, and others, as well as ethics investigations into 4 members of Congress. The DOJ, which is now conducting its own investigation, will make the ultimate call about those charges. In other national news, after a month-long trial and 9 days of deliberation, a jury did convict 70-year-old disgraced movie mogul Harvey Weinstein of raping and sexually assaulting an unnamed victim. He was found guilty on 3 of 7 counts in his second sexual assault trial. Like his New York trial, he was accused of using his Hollywood influence to lure women into private meetings where he could assault them. He pleaded not guilty and denied engaging in any non-consensual sex. The jury could not reach a verdict, though, on 2 of the other women's accusations of rape and battery. That was KREM 2 News 10 at 10, where you get more news in less time, but we are not done yet, so don't go anywhere. The investigation continues after 4 U of I students were murdered more than a month ago. We've got the latest coming up. Plus, a Hawaiian Airlines flight left over 30 people injured. What caused this terrifying ordeal? Coming back in just 90 seconds.